my name's Emily. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I'm going to be giving my top tips for college students. If you didn't already know, I recently graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder. I graduated just in May. And I really wish I had known some of these tips. Some of them are a little bit more obvious and I did know, but some of them that I have written down aren't, and they're things I wish I had known or wish somebody had told me. So I'm just gonna go through these pretty quick and give you all of my top tips for college students. Okay, so my first tip is kind of contradictory, I guess, but it's to say yes often, but also to learn when to say no. So basically what I mean by this is that you're only in college once and you really want to learn to say yes to things and go outside of your box, and just when people invite you to stuff, when you hear about a club or hear about an event, just say yes to going. But something that's really important in college is also learning how to say no, because a lot of times I found myself getting sucked into like FOMO or whatever and wanting to go to things, and then I went to this thing, like this party or this event, and I knew going into it that it probably wasn't going to be that fun, it probably wasn't worth it, but I went anyway and it was a waste of my time. So examples of things, so that like it makes a little more sense for you, examples of things that I should have said no to was on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night. So a school night, it's not a weekend, and I get invited to a party, but I know that it's actually just a small group of people, which obviously if that's your thing, go for it. But like it's just a small group of people I don't really know, people I don't like know enough or like enough to really like want to hang out with. But I didn't want to be left out, and I wanted to, you know, say yes to everything. So I would go to some party on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it wouldn't be that fun. I'd, you know, drink or come home late and be tired for class, and it's just not worth it. So those are the kinds of things that you shouldn't always say yes. You should say no to those, but try and say yes to the big things, the fun parties, you know, there's the fun events, just say yes to things as well. All right, number 2 is save money. Like seriously, save your money, okay? I graduated college with $0, and I don't mean like, oh, I had savings and I just had zero like spending money. My bank account was zeros all across, zero savings, zero in my checkings, zero cash, like maybe a couple quarters. Like I had zero. I still have zero pretty much because I'm looking for a job, and I'm gonna explain all of that in another video. But save money, and obviously, you know, you want, like I said, you want to say yes to things, so you are going to spend money eating out with your friends, getting drinks, you know, whatever. But you are going to thank yourself when you graduate and you have some money, because like I said, and I'm going to do a whole video about this, but you don't always get a job right away. Like some of your friends might, but you might not. And maybe you want to move straight into an apartment and not move home with your parents. So you might need like to have a couple months rent saved up so you can move into an apartment while you look for a job. Or maybe you want to go on a vacation after you graduate, and you know, nobody else is going to pay for it. So like you're going to pay for it yourself. So you want to have some money, you know, to travel, or just money to literally do anything. Like I literally have resorted to doing dishes for my parents to get money. So yeah, save your money, please, save your money. Okay, my next tip is to create really strong and positive relationships and connections with your employers and your teachers. So basically, when you are applying for jobs, they ask for references. So for me, I worked a job in high school and during summers of college, but it was at the same place, so I always came back to the same job each summer, and that's what I worked in high school. So I've only had one job, therefore I only have one reference. And obviously, like, I worked this job for years, so it's not like I didn't work for years. Like, I worked a lot, but it was at the same place, so I only had that one reference, and I didn't really get that close with a lot of my teachers. So I really like am struggling to find people to put down as references. So don't burn bridges, even with your peers, other like trusted adults, whatever, people that can vouch for you as a reference. So you usually need like one work reference. A teacher, especially in college, a professor is a great reference. Like if you took a specific class that was like a really hard class, or a really like specific class that could apply to a job you're applying for, you can ask that professor to write a reference for you, like either a letter or just be written down as a reference to call. So just make strong connections with people and close bonds so they know your name and they remember you, and don't burn any bridges because you're gonna need those. So kind of to go off how I was talking about employers and whatnot, do internships. And I know that you have a lot on your plate in college, and I kind of felt really overwhelmed. And so anytime I was thinking about doing an internship, I was like, nope, never mind, I'm not going to do it. I don't have time. But over the summer, you do have time. And I feel like at least one summer out of all the summers you're in college, you can try to get an internship. And if you go home for the summer and you don't live by your school, like you can just do an internship in your home state, you know, by your parents' house. Like you don't have to do an internship in the state that your school is. So summer's a great time to do that. A lot of internships are like part-time, so you know, you'll still have plenty of time over the summer to either work a second job, since sometimes internships don't pay, or just to relax with your friends. And also the best time, since a lot of internships don't pay, which is so shitty, but since some of them don't, the best time to do it is while you're still in college or like younger college, and you can maybe, you know, get some help from your parents. And I know a lot of people pay for their own school, and in that case and stuff like that, like obviously you need to be making money, so I totally get that. But maybe you can find a paid internship as well. But just do internship, do something, because I have literally nothing on my resume. Like my resume is, it's just not good, okay? So do an internship. Okay, another tip is to keep your room clean. And you can ask my roommates that my room was not clean. And I was like pretty decent roommate as far as clean in the kitchen and stuff, but my personal room was not clean. And I like to be organized, but I'm not clean. Some of you might know the difference, but you want to be organized and clean because your room is your space. Like you don't have a house. You're not at your parents' house where the whole thing's kind of your stomping ground. Like it's just your room, like your living room is with your roommates. And I was really close with my roommates, but some people aren't. So, you know, that's like not really like a place where you're super comfortable. If you go to a study room, like that's obviously not your space. The library, like your room is your only like real space that's only yours. And obviously when you're in a dorm, there's 2 people, but you know, or 3, I don't know how everybody's dorms work, but yeah, just keep it clean. It like really, I feel like when you have a clean room, you have a clean mind. Like I don't know why I let my room get messy, because I know that when my room is clean, my whole brain like works better. I feel relaxed, happier, organized. You don't have to like rush around in the morning before class trying to like find things. So just keep your room clean. And when you're living in a dorm, it's especially important to keep your room clean because that thing is tiny. Like you're literally living in a shoebox with somebody, so you need to keep it clean so that you can like actually walk from your bed to the door. Okay, another one, this is kind of one of the more obvious ones, but try to exercise and eat healthy. I'm going to be doing so many videos on this channel about eating healthy and exercising, and a lot of those videos and tips are going to pertain to college and like eating in the dining halls and like eating on a cheap budget and easy meals and stuff that I learned from college. So please subscribe if you want to see that, because eating healthy in college is honestly a task. Like it's really hard. And like I went to Boulder, and Boulder is a hub for like healthy foods, but you pay a price for them. Like literally you pay a price for that stuff. It's really expensive. And when you're stressed and you have no one, like your mom or dad isn't making you dinner, and you're stressed and you have a lot on your plate, haha, when you have a lot on your plate, you reach for unhealthy stuff. So I'm gonna do a bunch of videos, so subscribe if you want more info and tips on that tip. Okay, this is a big one. So this tip is to keep meeting new people after freshman year. And there's a lot of reasons why you should do this for your own benefit and also for other people's benefit. So a lot of people come into college, they meet a bunch of people freshman year. That's when you rush your sorority or your frat if you do that. That's when you are in a dorm with all these people. Everybody's like really physically like close together because you're all in dorms and whatnot. So a lot of people like meet their friends, and then that's it. That's their group. And obviously like you can meet a lot of great friends. Like some friends that you meet will be like that you have for the rest of your life will be from your freshman year. But I really advise you to keep making new friends. It's never too late. I met some of my really good friends like junior or senior year in some of my film classes. So always be open to making new friends. And how I said that benefits other people as well. I really struggled because my freshman year, I don't know, I was really confident, but at the same time, I feel like I made a lot of friends, but I didn't make like close friends. So I had a lot of friends, but none of them were close, like really strong relationships. And so then when I lived in my sorority house sophomore year, which I'm also going to make a video all about my sorority, but when I lived in my sorority house, all the girls in my pledge class had already made friends, and it didn't really feel like any of them, and this isn't just my sorority girls, like this was a lot of people, kind of felt like nobody was open to making friends anymore, and everybody was just like already had their friends, and it was kind of hard because you feel like an outsider. So for your own benefit and other people's benefit, always be open to making new friends, and you never know what friend you're going to meet at what point in college. Okay, this tip is go to class. And I know that that sounds so dumb, like, okay, go to class, no shit. If you're a freshman watching this, don't be a smart ass yet, because you're gonna find that it is actually so much harder than you think to go to class. Like maybe in high school you never missed a day, you had a 4.0, okay, whatever. You're gonna want to skip class, and you're going to, because you don't have anybody holding you accountable. Your parents aren't there. Your roommates probably don't care to tell you to go to class because they're probably skipping class too. But the reason you should go to class isn't for maybe like just the obvious reasons, like you go there to learn and stuff, but there are classes where if you look at the points on the syllabus, just the points that you get from going to class and participation, like you could literally do almost nothing else, and just going to class and participating for some classes is a big enough percentage to already give you like a C minus. So like literally just attending and not doing anything else, you could like literally get 0 on every test, and sometimes the percentage is enough that that will give you like a C minus. So go to class. You could literally have a class where you do so bad on all the tests, and because you went every day and got those like free points, basically, you're gonna get like a decent grade or a passing grade. Okay, and so to go along with that, as far as like the getting points that aren't that hard to get, there are also other easy points. So for example, in a lot of my classes, we had to do a discussion post where once, twice, 3 times a week, however many times a week, you had to read the reading, and then you had to make a discussion post about it on like on your portal, or maybe write it on a piece of paper and bring it in, whatever it is. And these points, like let's say a discussion post is only 5 points out of like 1,000 points in a class, so you might be like, oh, it's just one discussion point post, it's only 5 points. But if you take all the discussion posts from the whole semester, and out of all those 5 points, 5 points, 5 points, take that and attendance, put it together, you can literally just do those 2 things and have like a C, C plus, B minus, a B even, like some classes literally even like a B plus, depending on how the percentages are broken up. So you should always do that so you have a buffer. So if you have a class where you're like really doing badly on the test or the essays, you're still gonna pass and you're still gonna get a good grade because you did all the easy points, and it's just like, just do it. It takes no time. Also, a tip for the discussion post is if you get a really, really long reading and you have to do a discussion post on it, you can very easily just find a quote from the reading, read a little bit of what's above it and what's below it, and then just write your discussion post on that portion, and you don't have to read the rest. So do that. Okay, so another tip is to just try to be super grateful of this point in your life and everything you have, and try to really stay in the moment. I think myself and anybody else that I could speak for would agree that college is one of those things in life where you're sitting there after you're done and you're just like, what just happened? Like, where did it go? It literally makes me almost like teary-eyed, because it's just so insane, like mind-blowingly insane to me that I have graduated college. I remember vividly moving into my dorm and being a freshman, and it just goes so fast. And obviously you're allowed to have bad days, like you don't have to be grateful and happy all the time, but there's a lot of moments where I wish I would have just sucked it up and moved on, because I wasted days, nights out with my friends, whatever, like being sad over something, or not being, just being grateful. Like college is such a unique time. I know that everybody has a different experience in college as far as like your responsibilities. Like some people, everything's paid for by their parents and they don't have to have a job, and some people are paying for it all on their own. So I understand there is like 2 different kind of ends of like what it's like to be in college, but either way, I don't know, there's just like no other time in your life that's going to be anything like this. So really just take it for granted and have fun. Okay, the next one is to sleep as much as you can when you can. So obviously, like I said, you know, say yes to things, go out, go to events. But if you're feeling like you need your sleep, get your sleep, because I pretty much went a whole 4 years straight feeling tired forever. Like I don't remember a single time where I truly felt rested. Like you're so tired. Even when you do sleep, a lot of times you're not getting as good of quality sleep because you have a roommate, or roommates being loud in the kitchen, or like people yelling outside your window, like people all around just being dumb, and it's just like kind of noisy. So I like feel like I never got good sleep. So you want to get your good sleep, and like maybe you want to go to brunch with your girls at freaking 10 a.m. Like I know some girls, like I don't know how they do it, but they get all dressed up and go to brunch every Sunday. Like do that. Obviously say yes, but sometimes say no and just sleep till 12 and don't feel guilty about it. Okay, this tip I'm gonna try not to get like I'm gonna try not to get heated about, but please take this to heart. Ignore Mean Girls. Mean Girls are so irrelevant. Mean Girls, okay, when you're in high school, maybe you went to a really big high school, but let's say you go to the average high school. If there are girls that are popular or girls that are like mean girls, the amount of people in your school makes it so that those people are known. So the reason they're popular is because it's small enough that everybody knows who they are. In college, you are gonna run into some girls who think that they are popular. They act like popular girls. They're kind of bratty. They're kind of like exclusive. Like they don't really like want to make new friends, like I said earlier. But something that you have to remember is maybe the reason that you're encountering these girls are because they're in one of your classes. They're in your dorm. They're in your sorority. So to you, it might seem like, okay, these are the girls that are like popular or mean girls or whatever. But you have to realize that at your school, I mean, maybe you go to a small school, but CU, like a school like CU, there's like, I don't even know, like 30,000 people. They are not popular or relevant to anybody besides themselves and they're like 5 friends. Like with amongst themselves, they think that they're like popular and maybe in like your dorm, but there are too many people, like nobody else knows who the hell they are. So seriously, please do not let people like that get to you. College is a time where there are so many nice people, so many amazing people. There's always gonna be, you know, some bad eggs, okay? And they'll probably get a reality check eventually. Just let them do them, and you don't need to like call them out. Like just let them do them. Just literally ignore them because they get satisfaction out of, you know, getting attention. You do you. You're great. You are smart. You're beautiful, and you're gonna make a lot of friends. And there's so many people at college that there's somebody for you and somebody for you to be a part of their like friend group. So yeah, literally just ignore those people. Those kind of people, like I can literally think of people in my head, obviously not gonna say their names. I can think of so many people in college like that, and it's just like, you're not special, you know? You're not fucking special. Sorry, getting a little frisky, getting a little feisty. Okay, my next tip is don't be afraid to change your major. I'm not gonna go too much into this because obviously like you have to talk to your advisor and stuff, but especially if you're in your freshman year or sophomore year, don't be afraid to change it. Like you can just do an extra year. Like college isn't like high school where it's like weird if you don't graduate in 4 years. I know people who go, I know multiple people in my close friend group who are going on a 5th year and it's like totally normal. You can take summer classes, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and just don't be afraid to change your major. I changed my major and it was the best thing I ever did. So just, if you don't like your major and you're not doing well and you're miserable, your college experience is going to be like ruined. So change your major if you don't like what you're doing. Okay, so going off of that, summer classes, this is my next tip. Summer classes are actually kind of fun and you should take them if you have a chance. So some people are gonna probably literally be like, what the hell, that's not true, but I'll explain why I think that. So basically I found that when I was in normal semester, you take anywhere from like 12 to 18 credits, so you have a lot of classes going on at once, and so you don't always get to focus on, you know, one thing. You have to really like bounce back and forth between classes. You have to prioritize. So during the summer you generally just take one class at a time. Sometimes you can take 2, but you usually just do 1, and you go every day or like 3-4 times a week for like larger chunks of time. So you basically go more days of the week for longer hours, and then it's really quick, so it's not the length of the whole summer. It's just like a 4-week class or a 6 or 8-week class, and you go like a lot of days and you go to class for like 3 hours instead of 1 or whatever. But I think they're great because like it's nice out, you get to walk outside and it's not like cold. I mean, I go to school in Colorado, so it's freezing for like a lot of the year. So it's nice and warm. You go to class, the vibe is so different. Like the teachers are way nicer because they know that you don't want to be there, and neither do they because it's summer. So there's so much more chill. The coursework is generally easier. You get to focus on only that one class, so you're not distracted by other classes, so you usually do better. I also just think it's fun. Like you get out of class and you can like, some days you might have work or whatever, but some days you get out of class, you come home, but it's noon by that time and your friends are awake and you guys go to the pool or go like to the creek or the lake or whatever. So I think that summer classes are fun, and I think you should maybe try one out. And you can also do summer classes online, and online classes are like 10 times easier than in-person classes. So that's another tip, I guess, is to take some online classes. Okay, my next tip is to basically let bad grades go. Like just let it go. So grades are important. I am not here to tell somebody in college to like not give a crap about your grades. Like I'm not trying to do that. Definitely care about your grades and care about your schoolwork. It's important. That's why you're there. But okay, there are certain job fields, and you probably know if you're in one of these fields. You can do some research, ask some people you know. There are certain fields in which your grades matter. If you want to go to graduate school, your grades matter. If you want to go get some special job. I don't know what this would be, but I'm sure it exists. There are certain places that do ask for your grades, and also some internships ask for your grades. But out of every single friend that I know of, not a single job has asked to see their grades. Like, the jobs don't care. You got the degree, they don't care. And also, if they do ask to see your grades, chances are the difference between a 3.0 and a 4.0 doesn't matter. A lot of times when a job asks for your grades, they just want to see that you either have a 3.0 or like a 3.2. So like I said, obviously if you're going to graduate school, they have their own requirements that might be higher. But if a job does ask to see your grades, it's usually just to prove that you got at least a 3.0. And sometimes it's even just to prove that you have a 2.5. So obviously the difference between getting a B or an A in a class and getting like a D and barely passing is something that you might stress about, but do not stress about the difference between an A and a B, like, or an A and an A minus. Like, it doesn't matter. Let it go. You are going to be fine. This isn't high school. You're not going to get a 4.0. I mean, you might. I didn't even close. Just let it go. It's not important. Okay, my next tip is what you put into things is what you get out of things. So whether that's a club, a sorority, your class, your friends, your roommates, whatever, what you put in is what you get out. So if you like join a sorority, and this is kind of what I did, and I'm like fully aware of this, so it's fine. But if you join a sorority and you don't put very much in, you're not going to get it out. So if you don't go to the events, if you don't go to the meetings, if you don't go to the whatever, then you're not going to get anything out of it, because you're not going to be there enough to make friends and like really benefit. And that goes with any club, anything, any class. So like, if you feel like you're not getting enough out of something, like, there's a chance that it's just not for you. But if you feel like you're not getting enough out of something, try putting more into it and see if you start getting more out of it. I hope you enjoyed my tips. Please leave down below if you have any questions. If you're in college, let me know if you're starting school, where you're going to school, what year you're in. Just let me know. I want to know about you guys. I want to know if you have any questions. I have so much information about college, and I also have lots of friends that also went to school with me that could probably answer any questions I can't. So maybe I can bring them on some of my videos sometime. But yeah, leave any questions, comments, concerns down below. And yeah, and tell me where you go to school if you do, and what year you are. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more college tips. Thanks for watching. Bye.